Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for July 19th through 23rd, 2021. How are you doing? Well, we're at a very interesting point, a 0 point, a turning point where the tables of this contrived reality are about to flip. There's no way out of this trap except for forward. It's like with the sun in Cancer, we're having this energy of birthing humanity into a new chapter. And all that lies ahead is the narrow, dark, scary tunnel of truth. And yet, we've already started. There's no turning back. And so today we're feeling very powerfully this sun in Cancer, speaking to nurturing the power of the feminine and the waters of life and who we are as humans. The definition of human. The definition of human is that we are the highest level of authority in this realm. Human soul in a body, direct access to God consciousness, to life force. Everything, you can see the power of this as everything in the control energies agenda is to disconnect and rewire and null and void, make null and void our immune system. So that must be wherein our power lies. And the deal is that the control energies, the cabal, the deep state, whatever you want to call it, that have been controlling humanity for thousands of years, this control energy is getting incredibly and painfully obvious for those who can see outside or choose to see, have eyes to see outside of the contrived narrative paradigm. Now, we are on the verge. There's all these haystacks about to be lit on fire with all of these dark truths that have been withheld from humanity. And there's just no other way forward. And the astrology is kind of speaking to this 0 point, this point in the birth canal, this point before rebirth, where everything looks dark. And yet we have no other choice but to go through this storm together. And so what we have is the sun opposite Pluto, and the sun in Cancer, our humanness, who we are in our human potential, opposite of Pluto in Capricorn, which is about power structures, fear structures that have kept us from our own power. But now it's like face to face. And, we're not being shown this in the media, of course, in the US, but around the world, people are rising up against this medical tyranny, seeing it for what it is. There's so many more of us, true human good souls on this planet. And it's time for us to rise up and take back our reality. And we're just on this verge of the tables turning, and the astrology is speaking to this. So here we have this energy of who are we as humanness against the structures of power and control that have kept us from our own power. And the most difficult thing for humanity right now is this facing where we've so willingly given our power away. Now, this is reflected in the current transit, exact today, Mercury in square to Chiron. So Mercury in Cancer, also a perspective, human perspective in square to the wounds over where we've given our power away, our life force, our energy, where we played small in order to survive through all of these years. Now, the deal with the energy of Venus still in Leo, coming up, we'll be moving into Virgo this week, Mars still in Leo, the sun moving over into Leo this week. And the messages around the Leo energy is like, hey, how can you own your power if you're not willing, how can you claim it back if you're not willing to own it? We got to start expressing this human potential. And it doesn't We don't have to know exactly what that means or what that looks like to, we're being asked, Leo is about the will force and the execution of will force. And what we're being asked to do is our act of will. Humanity is collective, the awake souls individually, but an act of will that's in alignment with the divine will, the original plan. And it's time for the tables to turn. So Mercury in square to Chiron and Sun opposite Pluto is exactly these issues. It's like, wait a minute. Oh, we so willingly gave over our power to fascist control energies that have no interest in our well-being. All of these structures are about stealing your money and keeping you sick. Are you seeing it yet? It's getting painfully obvious. And yet we still don't have any mainstream truth. What happens when we get mainstream truth? And it's right around the corner. It ain't going to be pretty, but that is what's required. No more rolling over, humanity. Get up, stand up. There's so many more of us. We, the people, have the power. And so Mercury in Cancer, it's like this, Chiron is the wounds of giving our power away, losing our life force. It's like, this is our founding fathers in the US we're talking about. It's like, so freedom is so hard fought for and so easily given away. And are they rolling over in their graves at what we're been allowed to happen against our basic rights? You give them an inch and they take a mile. But no, they're not rolling over because they're here incarnate on the planet, waiting in the wings to take the stage. Supernova souls living in the aquarian paradigm, in this golden age, this potential for humanity that so much blood has been spilt in order to claim back. And here we are at the precipice. I think we might go from, I know supernova souls have been feeling really like life is super hard right now. And just to validate that, because the people around you who are not on the page are probably like, what's your problem? And it's like, you're carrying the burden of this and it's time to put it down. Give it back to the collective, and that's exactly what's going to happen as more truth comes out. But, if you're awake and aware to what's happening, but it's this feeling of like being immobilized and the terror and the trauma of it, not being able to do anything about it. And yet we have so much power, especially when we come together. No wonder they don't want us together in person, growing our energy field, validating and empowering each other, speaking the truth. What if all this lockdown shit is just to keep people from sharing the truth with each other? It's rudimentary, old school fascist playbook. And it's right there in our face, written on the wall, and so painfully obvious. And we have to get to the point where we go, oh, we so willingly gave our power over. Now it's time to step up and take it back. Now, the Leo energy with Mars and Venus in Leo, they've been taking turns making the point of a yod, right? So this is the messages in the astrology. This is a destiny point. The yod is across from a sextile. It's a point across from the sextile between Pluto and Capricorn and Neptune in Pisces. Pluto and Capricorn, the power structures and fear programming that have kept us invested in external power, and the delusions and illusions of the Piscean age, the using the power of the collective to create mind control, groupthink, to keep us in fear, keep us small, keep us raped continually. And on the other side, we've got Venus just went through this destiny point, and now Mars in Leo saying, action, the destiny, humans, it's time. for you to live the life you were meant to live. So much potential within you and all of us, not yet expressed, right? So truths, very difficult truths, not yet expressed. We're not being told, it's obvious if you want to find it, right? We need it in the face of every human. These deep, dark truths, if we're ever going to get over this hump. Metaphorically connected to your potential not yet lived, we're at the 0 point. And so Mars is now at the tip of this yod, and Mars is about action. And the action we need to take as the destiny point to free ourselves from this trap of delusions and control and fear and trauma is by expressing our potential, celebrating and expressing the light within. How, it's just that concept of how can we claim it back if we refuse to own it? And that's where these enlightened leaders come in, showing us, demonstrating, this is how we do it. This is how we take our power back. This is how we live in our truth. This is what humanity really is about. And so that yod is such a powerful message for us. Now the sun is going to come over into Leo this week on the 22nd, Thursday. And so we're going to have then Venus. It's interesting because Venus moves over into Virgo on the 21st. So very close, within a day of each other. They're both moving signs. Venus from Leo to Virgo, Sun from Cancer to Leo. And so when there's a powerful message there. And so the sun is now saying, all right, we know from the point of this yod that who we are is potential. And how we take back our power is our potential. And the power that they have is our power and our potential. And so it's about expressing it as a way of making it more real. I mean, it's real, but it's not real until we actually are executing it, right? And using this energy in our lives. And I know it just feels overwhelming, like you've been just treading water, making it through, overwhelmed with the energies, under constant psychological and energetic attack. And now you're being asked to step up to the plate in a way you didn't even think was possible. And what does that even mean? What does it even look like? I don't know. We're figuring it out together. But powerful messages in the stars, because as the sun moves over into Leo, Venus moving over into Virgo. And what happens is that now Black Moon Lilith today moves over into Gemini. This is huge because we've had Black Moon Lilith in Taurus for the last few months, all year really. And go into the deep, dark places of shame, low self-worth, and value, and the dark side of the moon, of the feminine, that keeps us in that low self-worth, of that garbage program of humanity as the lowly worm. All has to do with the feminine disempowerment, right? Because we have feminine and masculine within us. And that victimization, persecuted, is the feminine, okay? So now, we've got Venus moving over into Virgo right when Black Moon Lilith moves over into Gemini. So Black Moon Lilith, the deepest, darkest secrets of the feminine and the dark side of humanity, and the hidden thing. This is all about the feminine secrets, mystical, magical teachings that have been hidden under deep secrecy contracts. And now it's time for the voice of that great mother to be heard again. For those feminine mysteries, it's like we've just had this massive message of the balance of Venus and Mars, this perfect balance of the masculine and the feminine. But how can we have that if the feminine voice isn't heard? And the feminine voice represents these secret teachings that hold the key to everything. Our power. Our power, I'm going to tell you this, life force, it's pure energy, which is also electricity, which is also chi, which is also sexual energy. Sexual energy is just energy concentrated. And the big part of our distortion in this world, a big reason for it, a big part of the control agenda, is to keep that sexual energy chained in the lower chakras. And the dark sexual distorted truths that need to come out, it's enough to make you just not ever want to go anywhere near that energy. Oh, is that what they're trying to do? When that's actually our life force, pure power, right? So Venus moving over to Virgo is like, wait a minute, the feminine power, free energy is just energy. It's just energy. It's pure. It's beautiful. There's no negative. It's not scary. It's not dangerous. We just got caught in, because that free energy, that's what we were working with in Atlantean time. They told us that caused the catastrophes when it was actually an off-planet weapon, specifically designed to bury our history, bury that technology, and bury the feminine. But the feminine voice of these mysteries, which is the juiciness of life, it's everything, are now being revealed. And so Black Moon Lilith moving over into Gemini, but that's a huge deal, right? This is a huge shift of energy and a huge, like, whoa, time for the voice to come back, right? It's like the God self-expressed in the Leo energy and the creative forces and the truth of the feminine mysteries. Quite a combo. But see, Black Moon Lilith, as it moves today over into Gemini, means that it's making a square with Jupiter at 0 degrees. So this is the 0 point, right? They're going to be in exact square until the end of the month at 0 degrees. Jupiter retrograde at 0 degrees Pisces. Black Moon Lilith, 0 degrees Gemini. And it's speaking to this place that we're at of the turning of the tide and the turning of the tables. And we can't go back. It feels like we're going to fall off the edge. You know, can we get a grip? But really, we're at the place of rebirth. We're at the place of that butterfly in the chrysalis, wondering if it's living or dying, and then realizing it has wings. That's you, supernova soul. So take heart and be present. So 0 point. So we've got now Venus moving over into Virgo will be opposing Jupiter. Now, Jupiter at 0 degrees retrograde, 0 degrees Pisces, is like, how do we expand back into spiritual connection? How do we claim back that spiritual energy out of the control energies, out of the lies, out of the deception, right? It's just like structured religion keeping us from God consciousness and Christ consciousness. It has nothing to do with it. It's a bunch of satanic pedophiles at the top of the Catholic Church, the top of Hollywood, most of Washington, D.C., the royal family. How do we deal with this? And so it's enough to make you go, oh, right? God isn't even real, or that's, it's such a lie. And the sexual distortion, such a lie. Why? To keep us from our own access and connection to that power. And now Jupiter at 0 degrees Pisces is like, we got to claim back the magic, the revelation, the spiritual connection and spiritual purpose of the Piscean age before we can get out of the nightmare. And Jupiter at 0 degrees retrograde is like, how do we expand back into our connection? Is it ours to have? Is it even out there? Was it a lie? Is there any spiritual energy at all? Or are we just stuck here in some sort of trap? Are we dreaming in some sort of simulated reality? I know. There's one way out of the trap, and that's forward. The rebirth of humanity, facing these deep, dark truths, but you, supernova soul, coming into that expression of your potential, and you're going to feel so much better. One step down that road of your full expression, and you feel so much better. It's all you came for. It's all that really matters. And it's going to feel so much better, regardless of what chaos has to play out in the world. You are now free. And so be at this 0 point, because Venus moves into Virgo Thursday, and that's going to make a T-square with Black Moon, Lilith, and Jupiter. So we've got the silenced feminine ready to come and be heard, and this coming back into spiritual service, spiritual connection. This is the Great Awakening, is a revival of true spiritual energy, living and breathing the ecstatic existence of God force, aware of itself in a physical body, not limping through life feeling bad and horrible about everything and powerless, and everything you do as a human is like enforcing the bullshit consumerism, fake, feed the monster reality. It's getting psychically really hard to take. That means we got to make a shift. Are we going to make it over this mountain? I know you are. You made it this far. You're so close. But at that 0 point, you feel confused, you feel lost, it looks dark, it looks unknown, you have no ability to act or move out of the place you're in the birth canal, waiting to be reborn. So maybe can you just let it all go? Put down the burden you're carrying? Pat yourself on the back for being alive and breathing? Stop in this 0 point moment and be present with the present, with the magical moment that we're at, that there's no turning back now. And the way forward is going to be way better after we get over this hump. And you're here to lead the way. And you are here to be the peace. You are here to demonstrate what humanness really means. So just rest and breathe and pray. And, whatever that means to you, just this presence. Because the act of will is this divine will, right? This divine intervention. And then, holy crap, we are the divine intervention, right? I mean, there's no way out of this matrix except for rising above and existing in another paradigm. And that's you activated into more of your potential, your light body. And so the only way out is in. But in these moments of big shifting and waiting on the world, waiting for this thing, whatever we're waiting for, it's incredibly psychically painful for those who are empathic and aware. And go ahead and validate this too, right? Validate that you've been carrying the weight of the world since you got here. It's no longer your job. It's like this T-square is kind of like, all right, let's dig up those scrolls and get the truth and bury the nightmare of the Piscean age, right? Done, over. That control energy, keeping us from our own spiritual experience and spiritual connection and spiritual purpose. This is that grief that has been kept you immobilized is that feeling of not having. Humans are here with purpose and meaning. That is what it means to be human too. And they want us to live in a virtual reality. And one of the side effects, of this toxic jab, it definitely seems to be like, I don't care. I don't care about anything, Well, that's a really good place to keep you controllable, right? Except for it's all boomeranging because the divine plan is landing in, right? Now, it's like this is the first big mutable energy since we've had that big explosion, Mercury retrograde, square Neptune, eclipse season, and mutable signs. And so it's interesting because it's this mutable T-square at 0 degrees. And that is saying everything. It's like we're in a massive adjustment, but we're at the 0 point of that massive adjustment when you don't know if you're coming or going, if you're, exiting or getting deeper into the matrix, if you're even really alive. It's like But the message seems to be like, whoa, this is epic. The tables are turning. So be present. Be present. Just show up in your truth in the moment as much as you can. Be in the 0 point. Now, 0 point means outside of duality, right? It's actually a beautiful message after exact conjunction between Venus and Mars and Leo, full expression of the potential of the masculine and the feminine, and then coming into a yod formation. This is our destiny. And then 0 point. 0 point is outside of duality. 0 point is like you, as you came into this incarnation, the conception, just before conception, there was a moment where you were completely whole and complete. And there's this place inside of us and every molecule and the earth and everything manifests, this one place. You know, everything that's held into place in what we call solid or our reality is held into place through toroidal fields, which is the feminine form of electricity of this whole. This is the key to manifest form. It's held into place. Gravity is a lie, right? It's like, it's actually polarity. And it's everything, the secret to everything. Maybe that's what's hidden in the scrolls. You know, under the Vatican, when will it be revealed? When will humanity demand the whole truth? The whole truth. Whole truth of JFK's assassination, the whole truth of 9/11, the whole truth of the Cuban Missile Crisis, the whole truth of all of this bullshit we've been put through. No more. But that 0 point is that point outside of duality consciousness, right? It's like outside, slip outside of the movie of the divide and conquer. And when we're fully shown that control energy and what it's done to us, humanity has no choice but to come together across the divide. A beautiful, beautiful moment is coming of unity for humanity. There's no other way. We've passed the point of no return. There's no other way. We already won, but we're at that tipping point where now we have to face the music. And you, as an advanced aware soul, are playing such an important role. And maybe your important role has been just holding space for this shift. And it might feel overwhelming psychically because, okay, maybe that's part of the message here. It's like, if you're feeling overwhelmed psychically, that's like basically evidence that you do have a lot of psychic power. And is it like time for us to stop using our psychic power to be the garbage collector, recycler of psychic energy for the masses? They just create more garbage and we process it and transform it. And, it's hard to make money at that too, right? It's hard to be recognized and validated in your energetic contribution. But guess what? That's new paradigm. And you're doing it. And thank God that you're here and we're here together and we made it and we're here at the 0 point. Let's go to that 0 point. Let's meet there. This place outside of duality, right there, the very center of all of us. And be in that place of knowing you're so much more. That center point, this 0 point, is also the God molecule. And we've all got it, but you've already worked with this energy and you have a soul memory of it on earth when you were more fully expressing your God potential. That's why you're so important right now. And it's not important, more important, less important. It's just like you've got the experience that we need to get over this hump. But you're hiding in the corner. We all are. And that's okay, because it's been a rough road out there. And of course, it's even rougher when nobody around you can validate what you're going through, simply because you care and you're aware. And they've been chastising you and gaslighting you and invalidating you for long enough. Get the F out of the way, because it's our time to shine. And if we're going to do this, we're going to do it right, for God's sakes. Divine plan. It's an active will. We know it's an active divine will, and let's just get alignment with that. And maybe that's this place of immobilization because we're still adjusting in this new way of manifesting in the new paradigm. But that all seems to have to do with this 0 point, this being present, being centered, knowing you don't have to know who or what exactly you are, but you know you're more. You know you have this within you, and that's why it's been so hard. And go ahead and validate it. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. Separate yourself from any energies that can't validate the work you're doing right now and holding this whole ship together. 0.0 tolerance, right? We can't let one child rapist still be here. No more stealing our innocence, right? May the voice of the Great Mother be heard again across the land. And this astrology, it's such a powerful message and a play out. It's like who we are in our raw human vulnerability going up against the man and being like, yeah, you fooled us for a while, for a long time, but no more. Now we know we got the power. And then Mercury and this adjustment and then the perspective of human perspective in square to Chiron in Aries, the wounds over where we gave our life force and our power away, and saying, oh, we kind of bought into this whole thing that, human is powerlessness. Human is less than. Human is just the bottom feeders, the useless feeders. It's like, no. Those guys are some sort of reptilian hybrid monsters controlling our whole reality, stealing from us every day to do very dark stuff. And it cannot happen. You came here for this. Let's do it right. You can't be here anymore unless we do it right. And it's our world now. We know we won. We know we get to cross over. You didn't come here to be in the corner. And it's not like, okay, come on, you got to go do something. This is about recognizing that you have not yet started, and don't give up now. Stand up, be seen, be heard in your energy field, in your truth, in your light. Own it. Love it. Don't take any bullshit from anybody. Now it's time for the truth to reign again. And that means uncovering the scrolls of who you are, the deep, dark secrets of your potential that you had to hide away. We've all taken vows of secrecy and silence for those teachings because we didn't want them to get out and get misused. Of course, completely cut out from all structured religion. And may the goddess reign again in equal, beautiful expression with the God Self, the Mother and the Father in that divine union. This is your destiny. This is how we claim back our power. This is how we get through the 0 point and into the new paradigm. By owning it, living it, breathing it. Don't let anybody tell you different. Be that act of divine will in your existence. So, yeah. Very powerful energy, and we're going to feel this. Like I said, Black Moon will square Jupiter till the end of the month, but a huge bloom of this energy as we move into it with Venus moving over into Virgo, but a really sweet energy because it's like Black Moon Lilith Gemini, the voice of the feminine must be heard. Venus and Virgo, she's purified. She's gone to the underworld. She was brave enough to go there and hold all the bullshit and crap and be blamed for everything. And now that exalted feminine, purified and coming back into expression. The world the right way, Hey, how many times in your life have you seen a problem and been like, oh, if only we could just No, that's not a problem. No, that's just how it is. We have people on the street that don't have anywhere to be and no food, and they're sick and they're vets and they're or minorities and whatever, and it's like that's just normal. That's just how life is on earth. And it's like, no, screw this bullshit. These systems are set up for us to fail, be hopeless, be disempowered, and game over. So in the 0 point, the message I'm getting is that there are indications coming for you in this 0 point time of what more exactly, specifically, your next steps in your expression. Where does your will, your spiritual will, align with that divine will and divine timeline as we move into this energy? So sit tight, breathe, love. When you really breathe and you kind of have this affirmation, not just air, but you're breathing in energy and prana, and like that's an affirmation of that humanity is way more of what we've been told. And you can give yourself permission and feel yourself potentially just rising up out of the bubble of the false reality matrix program. And it's weird how alone we're all feeling, and yet there's so many of us so present more than ever. And it's almost like we can just get up above the firmament and find each other, and get this, the boulder, it's being pushed up to that point on the hill. There is a top of the mountain, that critical mass, the energy of momentum. And we're coming to this place, but we're at the 0 point right now, but it's just, and then how fast does that boulder roll down the other side? Way faster than going up. And we're here at that point, and you're so needed and you're so valuable. So sit tight, breathe, see yourself rising above as the giant you are in your energetic field, your God molecule, your soul memory of being in your light body, of working with your higher intuitive technological abilities in a body in this lifetime. It's been hidden from you, just like the scrolls, and your truth. And no wonder we all feel so no rudder, no guide. No, what are we doing? No plan. It's time for it to be revealed. And your role in it. And be in that energy of how exciting it's going to be for you to get together with your people, get to work on your projects, and actually live in your potential. Big part of the program. Now, if there's these advanced souls on Earth that are here to lead the way, it would make sense that they would be highly targeted. And it would make sense that they're made to feel very alone and isolated. They'd be under psychological attack. Told again and again that your rightness and your love isn't valid, isn't needed, isn't important. Just ignore those problems and go on. So maybe, this is this energy of like the Mercury square Chiron and Sun opposite Pluto is like, okay, we got to get out of victimization, and we can sit there and be like, when they did all this to us, right? And that's a stage. You got to be aware of it, right? It's a stage we got to go through, and the coming out of the stupor, but then we need to act. We need to express, because that same thing, it's like, how can we claim back our power if we're not willing to go anywhere near it? And so I guess there's a lot of energy of like, be present and be in that love that you are, and go ahead and validate how difficult it's been for you as a soul. And pick yourself up, dust yourself off, rest, breathe, love, vision, the feeling of coming into a lot of supernova souls as they come into this information and work. They're like, well, no, I don't think that's for me. I'm not a supernova soul, which is so supernova because there's all this programmed low self-worth, right? And it's like, no, I kind of thought maybe I had something inside of me, but nobody really wants it. Nobody's going to like it. And why even bother? It's like, oh my God, come on, you guys, let's do this. Right? And don't worry about what that exactly looks like, although there are hints and clues coming in this 0 point energy, right? You cannot get a view of where you're going until you get up to the top of the mountain. So perspective may be coming. And visualizing that boulder getting ready to just race down the hill. And this is part of the psychic trauma for you right now too, is that you are aware of this very uncomfortable feeling of what's coming. We don't know what it is, but we can feel that something's got to give, you know? So perfect point to go to still point and be there and breathe yourself right into your bigger self and out of the lower matrix. And just give yourself a few minutes of that energy every day. Anytime you think about it, breathing in, breathe with your soul group members, breathe in this air, light, prana, and see yourself becoming the giant light body that you are. And that reaches right up above the firmament, delusion, lower matrix reality. And there we find each other and we get to work. And we're already doing the work energetically, right? And you're doing it. You made it. But we're at this very strange moment. And you, as a psychically aware person, are feeling it. So just keep breathing, keep loving, being in your truth, see that divine timeline, feel yourself in alignment with that divine timeline in this exciting chapter that lies ahead of your full expression. You haven't yet gotten to a place where you can have peace in this realm because you're not using what you have. You have been given, not given, earned, dynamic and powerful, abundant gifts. You've worked with and earned and learned over many lifetimes and evolutions, even before even coming to Earth. It's your abundance. It's yours. Nobody can take it. They can kill you again and again, lifetime, but this is only going to get bigger. Your God molecule is about to bust out of the seams and be seen and heard in this world again. A demonstration that God lives. How powerful and beautiful. And thank you so much for everything you've gone through to be here, poised and ready. Perfect placement. You're at the right place at the right time. Just sit and breathe. Let all the little shit go. Know you're working on a big psychic project and be present in this 0 point, this place of there's nowhere else to go but forward and empowerment, truth, light, the way, and the way is finding you because you're so crucial. You're so crucial to leading the way. So you got to find the way in your heart and soul. And that's what the 0 point is offering us. Are you ready to come out from under the rubble of your life and express that God power so you can claim that God power, right? These are your talents and skills that have been built up through all of your experiences. That stuff you take with you. The money and the cars and all this shit we've been taught to worship, you can't take that with you. It means nothing. You have the abundant wealth of the universe. And is it time to stop camping on it? And I know it's been scary to be seen, but it's time to be seen and be heard and drop those vows of secrecy and silence and start living and breathing the mystical teachings of the divine feminine. Free energy. That's an inspiration. You know, when you're walking around, for a while we've been trying to take back our power, and then we have this experience of the whole narcissist reality where everybody wants to either hate you or attack you or they want to worship you or get some of your energy. And it's like self-contained universal power. I'm showing you what's possible. And then your light is its own protection and you can come out of hiding. So be present. And hey, we also have a full moon in Aquarius coming up, 1 degree Aquarius. So it's speaking to that table tide turning, like, yeah, we don't get to stay stuck in the Piscean age and stuck in between. The 0 point is a place we're going. It's not where we're staying. And so really powerful. This Friday is a Saturday, full moon, 1 degree Aquarius, 1.5 degrees. So it's enough in Aquarius to be in the energy, but still this initiatory degree. The beginning of the signs, not 0 point. 0 is like totally stuck. Can't do that. This is where we are, almost to the top of the mountain, but just stuck there at that last scaling of the rocks place, right? But the 1 degree, 1.5 degrees, it's like, okay, we're going, we're moving. And so very powerful energy there. And the full moon will then be in an inconjunct relationship to Jupiter. So that's like an inconjunct relationship is an adjustment that needs to be made, right? And so it's like we've got to claim back the magic of the Piscean age and the mystical spiritual revelation that lives within our God molecule in order to get out of the Piscean age and get the ball rolling. And beautiful message with Venus moving into Virgo. That's the purification of the feminine, so that voice can come back strong and reverberate as that bell of freedom ringing through our world of purity and truth and potential, and a great unveiling of the darkness in order to get to the light of who we really are. So very, very powerful time. So look out for an activation. There's going to be an activation on Friday morning for mountain time in the US for that full moon in Aquarius. So I hope you can join me for that activation. That's a guided meditation. If you can't make the live time, know that you can catch the replay as soon as possible. We're working outside of time. And so those messages can be there for you, and perhaps some clarity about your role specifically or next steps in the Aquarian age. It's finally time for us to start to see around this corner. Critical mass is building, and regular everyday humans waking up to the tyranny and taking to the streets. And so we'll see you there in that place of protest in the spirit and the soul of the supernova soul of saying, I'm not going to stay in the corner anymore. I'm not going to apologize for who I am in my light and truth, and just shine. Okay, here we go. I look forward to seeing you. Have a great week. Be in the still point. I think this 0 point still point place is going to stay, that nebulous kind of in between feeling, and maybe just just surrendering to that and being okay, dropping all your plans. Just drop it. Just be present with what's happening, and but that there we will feel a shift with that full moon, and perhaps some clarity and feeling like, oh, this is where we're at. When you're in the roundhouse and you're going around the train, going around with the different tracks and the different places, you're going around a circle, you totally disoriented and you don't know where you're coming from and you don't know where you're going. And all right, so I'll just go within because I know where I came from. I came from God consciousness, and I am God consciousness. And it's going to be so fun to express that in my full potentials with those talents and skills that you might not even know you had being revealed. Your most powerful gifts and talents and skills from your past lives are the ones that are most repressed, hidden under the rubble, the secret scrolls. And I've definitely had in this last year, indications a couple of different times of like, there's more scrolls to be revealed. We're going to be finding these scrolls that are going to have important pieces of information to put all the dots together of humanity's true history and true power, because they go together. And that's you right there. You have it within you. Are you ready to show the world what you got? All right. So, thank you so much for being with me. Thank you for your support. If you want to support me, a great way to do it is to support this work and these messages. Is to become a member of the Supernova Soul Tribe on my website. That's $9.99 a month. You get event discounts, a weekly update, and live Q&A sessions. And so think about that. Also, there's a direct donation link. Thank you for your support and bringing your energy to our light ship that we're building. Our field is just getting stronger and stronger. And just like our individual path, our supernova light ship, we don't know exactly where we're going or what we're doing, but we feel it's real. And we feel the potential and we feel it growing. And that's because of you. So thank you so much for being here. And I look forward to seeing you soon, hopefully on the next update, the live activation for that Aquarius full moon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.